The story of the American $1 coin is filled with history, rarity, and hidden value. But among them, there are two coins that rise above the rest. These top two USA $1 coins have become legends in the world of numismatics, and whether you are a collector or just curious, their history and worth will absolutely surprise you. Have you ever picked up a coin so big and so heavy that it immediately felt different from every other piece of change in your hand? The 1971 Eisenhower dollar is exactly that, a coin that did not just reintroduce the dollar denomination after more than 3 decades, but also connected to powerful chapters of American history. On one side, the memory of Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander of World War II and 34th President of the United States, and on the other side, the triumph of the Apollo 11 moon landing. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was more than money. It was a symbol of leadership, victory, and progress. And today, we're going to dive deep into its story, its varieties, and its true market value. Let's start with the history. After the peace dollar ended production in 1935, the United States Mint stopped striking $1 coins for over 35 years. There was no circulating dollar coin at all. By the late 1960s, America was looking for a way to honor Eisenhower, who had passed away in March 1969. Only a few months earlier, the Apollo 11 mission had successfully landed astronauts on the moon, and the American public was still celebrating that giant leap for mankind. What better way to combine these two achievements than by releasing a brand new $1 coin featuring Eisenhower on the obverse and the Apollo 11 mission on the reverse? In 1970, Congress approved legislation to create the Eisenhower dollar, and in 1971, the first coins rolled out of the mint. The coin was designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparro, who had already designed the Lincoln Memorial reverse on the penny, and the Kennedy $half. Gasparro's design of Eisenhower shows a bold presidential profile, while the reverse shows the Apollo 11 mission patch eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its talons, a design first seen on the official insignia of the astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. Now let's talk about the physical characteristics. This coin was huge. It measured 38.1 millimeters in diameter and weighed 22.68 grams, which made it the largest coin struck for circulation since the silver dollars of the early 20th century. It was produced into main compositions: copper nickel-clad for circulation and special silver-clad versions for collectors. The copper-nickel coins were struck at Philadelphia and Denver, while San Francisco produced both clad and silver issues. The mint marks are crucial. The Philadelphia coins had no mint mark, the Denver issues carried a D mint mark, and the San Francisco coins carried an S mint mark. The San Francisco have produced a special types: the 1971 S silver uncirculated dollar and the 1971 S silver proof dollar. Both of these contained 40% silver and were sold directly to collectors in special packaging. Now let's break down the mintage figures, which explain why some coins are common and others are valuable. The Philadelphia mint struck over 47 million circulation strikes. The Denver mint produced more than 68 million, and the San Francisco mint struck over 6 million silver uncirculated coins and around 4 million silver proof coins. That means the regular Philadelphia and Denver coins are common, but the San Francisco silver issues, especially in high grade, are much more desirable. When you hold one of these coins in hand, the first thing you notice is how easily they picked up marks. Because of their size and weight, the coins often clashed against one another in bags at the mint, leading to scratches and contact marks. That is why finding a pristine mint state coin, especially from the Philadelphia and Denver strikes, is difficult, and why collectors are willing to pay a premium for high-grade examples. Now let's get to the values, starting with circulation strikes from Philadelphia and Denver in worn condition. These coins are usually only worth a couple of dollars, but in uncirculated condition the price jumps. Most uncirculated 1971 P or D coins trade for $10 to $30. Depending on how clean the surfaces are in mint state 65, the price can rise to 100 or more, because true gem examples are not easy to find. The 1971s silver uncirculated coins are much more valuable on average. They are worth $20 to $40, but superb examples can bring 75 or more. The 1971s silver proof coins are even more desirable. Proof versions with deep cameo contrast can reach $50 to $100 or higher depending on grade. In fact, some proof coins graded P69 deep cameo by PCGS or NGC have sold for several $100s at major auctions. And then there are the errors. This is where the values can skyrocket. Collectors are always on the hunt for unusual mistakes, like off-center strikes, double dies, and missing clad layers. One of the most famous varieties is the 1971D Friendly Eagle reverse, also known as Type 1. In this version, the Eagle's features on the reverse look softer and less defined compared to the regular strikes. This rare variety can sell for hundreds, and in top grade has even reached over $1,000. Auction records prove just how desirable these coins can be. In 2013, a 1971D Eisenhower dollar graded MS65 by PCGS sold for over $6,000 because of its rarity in gem condition. Another example is the 1971S silver proof graded PS69 deep cameo, which sold for more than $2,000. These record prices show that while most $1,971 are common, there are standout examples that command big money. Now let's step back and think about why collectors care so much about this coin. The Eisenhower dollar represents a turning point in American coinage. It was the last large dollar intended for circulation. The dollars that came after, like the Susan B. Anthony, the Sacagawea, and the presidential dollars, were all much smaller and never had the same presence. The Eisenhower dollar was the last of the big, heavy coins you could actually spend in everyday transactions, though in reality many Americans found them too large and impractical for daily use. That is why so many ended up in banks and eventually in the hands of collectors. For collectors today, the 1971 Eisenhower dollar is both affordable and fascinating. It tells the story of Eisenhower, the soldier and president, and also the story of America reaching the moon. It is history, old in your hand, and depending on the mint mark, the condition, and whether it is a silver or proof issue, the value can range from just a few dollars all the way into the thousands for rare varieties and high-grade examples. So if you come across one of these coins, take a close look, check if it has a mint mark, look at the surfaces to see if it is clean or marked up, if it carries the S mint mark, and especially if it is a silver proof or a silver uncirculated coin, you might be holding something much more valuable than you think. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar is a coin that rewards knowledge. A casual observer might think it is only worth $1, but a careful collector knows the truth. Its size, its history, and its connection to space exploration, it didn't stand out among American coins. If you want to know the exact value of your 1971 Eisenhower dollar today, based on its grade, condition, and whether it is silver or clad, just drop a comment below with your coin details, and I will share the current auction and online sale prices for your specific piece. Asterisk. Next up, the Eisenhower dollar series began in 1971 after Congress approved a new dollar coin to honor Dwight D. Eisenhower, who had passed away in 1969. Eisenhower was remembered not only as the Allied commander who helped lead the victory in World War II, but also as the 34th President of the United States who guided America through the early years of the Cold War. The coin's reverse design by Frank Gasparro honored another achievement, the Apollo 11 mission, showing an eagle landing on the moon carrying an olive branch. That design tied Eisenhower's leadership with America's bold step into space. By 1978, the Eisenhower dollar had been circulating for 7 years, but it had never been a popular coin. The size and weight made it impractical for daily use. Cash registers and wallets were not built for such a large coin, so many ended up sitting in bank vaults or in collector hands. Still, the Eisenhower dollar had a loyal following, and the 1978 issue would become the last year it was struck for circulation, because the following year the much smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced. Now let's look at the details of the 1978 issue. The coin weighed 22.68 grams, had a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, and was struck in copper. Nickel-clad composition. Silver versions were struck for circulation. All four collectors in this year, unlike earlier issues, there were number 40% silver coins or silver proofs in 1978. This makes the 1978 Eisenhower dollar a little more straightforward, but still interesting because of its varieties and grades. The coins were struck at two mints, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia mint struck over 25 million coins, and these carry no mint mark. The Denver mint struck around 33 million coins, and these carry a small D mint mark on the obverse above the date. There was also a proof version made at San Francisco with the S mint mark. Around 3 million of these were struck. These proof coins were sold directly to collectors and display sharp details and mirror-like fields. So how much is the 1978 Eisenhower dollar worth today? Let's start with the regular circulation coins. A 1978 P Eisenhower dollar in circulated condition is usually worth just $1 or to uncirculated examples, however, are more desirable and typically trade for $5 to $15 depending on condition. In high mint state grades like MS-65 or MS-66, the value can rise to $50 to $100, and in rare, superb gem condition with perfect luster and clean surfaces, prices can climb even higher. The 1978 D coins follow a similar pattern. In circulated grades, they are usually only worth face value or a small premium, but in uncirculated grades, they are worth $5 to $20. Mint state gems can fetch $75 to $150 at auction, depending on strike quality and eye appeal. Now the real interest comes with the 1978 S proof dollars. Proof coins were struck with polished dies and special plankets, giving them mirror surfaces and frosted designs. A typical proof coin, without much cameo contrast, is worth around $10 to $15, but proof coins with strong deep cameo contrast can easily bring $30 to $60 or more in the highest grades like PS69 or PS70 deep cameo. These coins have sold for over $500 at major auctions. Collectors also watch closely for unusual varieties or rares. While the 1978 issue did not produce as many major varieties as earlier Eisenhower dollars, there are still some notable finds. Double die obverse coins showing slight doubling on the date or lettering can bring a premium. Off-center strikes, missing clad layers, and other mint errors have been discovered as well. Some of these unusual mistakes can be worth hundreds of dollars or even more depending on rarity and condition. Auction results give us a good picture of the market. In 2014, a 1978 D Eisenhower dollar graded MS-67 by PCGS sold for more than $3,000 because it was one of the very few known in that grade. Similarly, a 1978 S-proof Eisenhower dollar graded PS70 deep cameo sold for over $2,000. These record prices show that even a coin that seems common at first can surprise collectors in the highest grades. But beyond the numbers, the 1978 Eisenhower dollar carries another kind of value. It marked the last time the United States mint struck a large, heavy circulating dollar coin for nearly a century. Americans had known silver dollars like the Morgan and P series. The Eisenhower dollar was the last to follow in that tradition. After 1978, the dollar coin would shrink in size and never again have the same presence. The Eisenhower dollar truly represents the end of an era. So what should you do if you find a 1978 Eisenhower dollar? First, check the mint mark. If it is a proof with the S mint mark, you already have a collector coin. Next, check the condition. Coins that are bright and free of marks can be worth far more than those with heavy circulation. Finally, keep an eye out for errors and varieties which can raise the value dramatically. The Eisenhower dollar is a coin that rewards patience and careful study. Most are worth only a small premium, but the rare high grade and proof examples can bring hundreds or even thousands. Collectors love the history, the size, and the unique role this coin played in American numismatics. So the next time you see a 1978 Eisenhower dollar, remember that you are holding the very last chapter of America's big dollar coinage, a coin that links Eisenhower's legacy with the Apollo missions, and one that collectors continue to treasure today. If you want to know the exact value of your 1978 Eisenhower dollar based on its mint mark condition and whether it is a proof or business strike, just drop a comment below with your coin details and I will share the current market value and auction prices for your specific coin. Asterisk.